Hi, this week, this Shabbat, we're gonna read 2 weekly portions. And I know that unfortunately a lot of synagogues gonna be closed due to COVID quarantine, but still we can learn very nice messages from these Torah portions. So let's look inside the Torah. And this week we're gonna finish third book of Torah, Vayikra, and we're gonna begin first one. So the last verse in the third book of Torah, Vayikra, says following: Ele mitzvot. These are the commandments, mitzvot, asher tzeva Hashem el Moshe, that God commanded to Moses to tell to Jews. And this happened Behar Sinai, and this all happened on Mount of Sinai. All these mitzvahs, all these commandments that we had seen in the Torah previously. And fourth book of Torah, Bamidbar, starts with following verse: Vayedaber Hashem el Moshe b'midbar Sinai. And Hashem spoke to Moses in the desert of Sinai. So it should be some connection between the commandments, mitzvot mentioned in the end of third book of Torah and the desert mentioned in the beginning of the fourth one. And this connection is explained by Balaturim. He said following: if the person does not make himself like a desert, he will not be able to learn Torah. What does he mean? How one becomes to be desert? In order to understand that, we need to learn some of the desert characteristics. Desert is the place where nothing grows, nothing develops, but even if one tiny drop of water falls on the ground, the spot where this tiny drop landed becomes to be the source of life. So too the person should view himself as the desert, in a sense that every word of Torah, every single mitzvah should become his life source, without which he cannot live. In order to illustrate this idea, I'm gonna tell you a story, anecdote that happened in the beginning of 20th century with two very famous rabbis, Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman and Chofetz Chaim. So the Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman came to pay visit to the great sage Chofetz Chaim, and they spoke together, and Rabbi Elchanan said to him, "You know, my dear teacher, we have a problem. Our yeshiva, our institution is in a very big trouble. We don't have money, we don't have financial help from anybody, and big poverty and a lot of problems, so we're in trouble." But, says Rafael Hanan Wasserman to Chofetz Chaim, I have thought for the solution. It says in the Talmud that there is no reward in this world large enough to repay for mitzvah, to repay for good deed. So said Rafael Hanan, let's make a business, a deal with the heaven, with the God. We gonna exchange the reward for just 1 second of our Torah studies. We're gonna exchange it to money. And the God gonna give us money. So the Chofetz Chaim told him, I'm very sorry, but this doesn't work. This deal couldn't be done. And said Chofetz Chaim, I'm gonna tell you the story to illustrate this. So we gonna now be in a story inside the story. Don't be lost. So Chofetz Chaim told him the story. There was once a child who found a coin, very, very expensive, ancient coin. He went to the market. He found the shopkeeper and he wanted to sell this coin to the shopkeeper. But the shopkeeper was fair enough to say to him that he not gonna buy this coin because he doesn't want to cheat, because even if he gonna sell all his belongings, all his store, he will not be able to buy this ancient coin. So too, said Chofetz Chaim, God never gonna agree with this deal, because he really knows the price of our good deeds and our Torah learning. So what can we learn from all these nice stories, parables, and verses from the Torah? We should learn that we should never give up on our good deeds and on our self-development. We should always strive to become better, to develop ourselves in all senses, and to bring just goodness in this world. Shabbat Shalom.